5 things you can do to winterize your classic Mercedes. Well, the driving season is ending if you're in one of those northern states. It's already ended if you're in Canada, so sorry. I don't know. I guess if you're in maritime Canada versus like, is anybody getting snow in Canada yet? I often think about what I would do if I had to store my cars all winter. So I have a couple of things that I'd like to share with you guys. First, put the car in a battery maintainer. Don't just hope the battery's going to last through the winter. Put it on a maintainer. Why? Because the maintainer is going to keep your battery from going flat. And when you're in there, check the water level in the cells. Use distilled water only, but make sure the cells are up so that the battery has balanced pH and doesn't have a problem holding a charge, or where you have one cell that holds more of a charge than others. Number 2, purchase items to keep your tires from flat spotting. These tire savers, I guess that's what they call them, are U-shaped and they go under the tire. You jack the car up, slide them under the tire. It keeps the tire round from flat spotting. Why do I say this? Because flat spotted tires are the number one reason why people have blowouts or accidents and they go wake their car up in the spring. The tire could explode because it's too flat spotted, then it gets a tread separation or a bubble, then it blows itself up all over your fender. So that's no fun, getting like a fender painted or something because a tire failed. Now here's something that I also want to tell you guys about. If you're driving on old flat spotted tires that have, that are 7 or 8 years old, the easiest way to know if your tire is a flat spot or a bubble is when you approach a stop, you'll feel up and down, hobbledy-hoy, like you're on an old horse or something. It's right when you approach a stoplight, you'll feel that up and down feeling. That's when you know it's probably time for tires. Even if they were reproduction XWXs and they were very expensive. Time to get tires. So, on to item number 3. What do you put in your fuel tank to protect it? Well, if you have a gas car, it's a good idea to put a little bit of Marvel mystery oil and some Stable, especially if your Mercedes has mechanical injection. And if you have a diesel, it's a good idea to put a biocide in, such as heat or power service, which some variants of power service have a component that kills algae. But these 2 things are great if you're storing your car for a long time because they keep your tank from becoming an algae farm, or in the case of your other vehicle, it might keep your tank from becoming, a tank full of stale gas. Now, I also like putting a container of octane boost in right when I wake the car up. The octane boost will mitigate damage to the valves and piston rings from low octane, especially if you have a carbureted car or a mechanically fuel injected car, where these things tend to be a real problem. The 4th item that I always tell people to do when they're winterizing their car, make sure that they have a way to keep their garage from getting below 32 degrees. Now, this is important for 2 reasons. The first reason is because in case your coolant and your water separate, you don't want part of your block or head to freeze, because coolant and water can separate out over a period of time. People think that once you put 50-50 coolant in your block, the whole thing all the way through is 50-50. It's not true. Part of your block can be 80% water and 20% coolant. And the other part can be 80% coolant and 20% water. And the coolant usually sinks and the water usually goes to the top. So I just want everybody to hear that. The second reason is because below 32 Fahrenheit on some older Mercedes, the dashboards can experience thermal contraction and they can get a wicked split. And it's not pretty. You really, really, really do not want that to happen. That split, that horrible split, can be a product of many things. But what is most common is that it's caused by extreme temperature variance, like it's 65 during the day and 20 at night. So you've got to be able to stabilize your garage at 32 degrees, even if it means, paying a little extra for your heating bill. It's still a lot of money to spend on a dashboard. Now, the fifth thing that I want to warn you guys about when you winterize your car is this idea that, well, your car needs to have a thinner oil for winter. If you're not going to be running your car in winter, it doesn't need a thinner oil. If your garage is going to be at like 40 degrees, 45 degrees, which is not unrealistic, you don't need a thinner oil. But what you need to make sure that you don't do is to unnecessarily run your car during the winter with very thick oil in it or very thin oil. I find a lot of people will start the car in the winter just to run it for the sake of running it. Well, sometimes you might have to do this, so you shouldn't make it a regular thing. But when you're going to just start and run your car, you probably should make sure that your garage temperature is a little warmer for about 12 hours beforehand, so your oil is not thick as honey. A lot of people will have 20 weight oil and they'll forget about it. A lot of people will run their car all year round with oil that I think is too thin, like a 530 or a 520, and I think this isn't a good solution either. Now, there are some good year-round oils like 15W40, which is a good viscosity, but again, still, if you live in a really cold climate and your garage is 35 degrees or 32 degrees, that's still too cold. Still can cause a lot of engine wear. So when you're winterizing your car, try to make sure that if you have a block heater, plug it in, or try to bring your garage temperature up or something so that the oil doesn't gel. And if you're really wise and smart, unlike me, you'll use zinc additive in your oil. When you change your oil, put zinc in, because this will offer a different level of protection, a much improved level of protection if you have to start your car and move it during the middle of the winter. And I understand if you have an emergency like a fire, or you have to take the car because your other car breaks or something. But cold flowing oil during very cold temperatures is one of the number one things that damages these cars. And if you throw in a little bit of cold, sludgy oil and maybe some old bad gas that can get in the valve guide and seize the valve, that's a recipe for an instant engine failure. All right, guys. Well, I hope you liked this video. Or girls, tap the subscribe button if you haven't yet. And if you are interested in one of our shirts or our mugs, please let everybody know that you love Classic Mercedes and help us keep our lights on, literally. And if you're supporting us on Patreon, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, enjoy winterizing your Classic Mercedes so you can enjoy it during the spring without any major mechanical issues that you created by winterizing it improperly. See you later.